Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony and I'm going to bring up some really good memories. Bruno and I used to do videos for the Champions League with so much optimism. We'd sit in his couch or it'd be outside my backyard and we were genuinely convinced under Spalletti, under Conte, we'd get there. Well, guess what, Bruno? It's match day 6 and we don't even have to get a draw. We're already in the round of 16, cuz. But all importantly, we're up against Real Madrid. It's going to be great and it's great to have you joining me on Inter Worldwide, bro. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I always thought under Inzaghi would get there, especially with the way he attributed Lazio to getting to the round of 16. But this game is a lot more important than what everyone thinks. And we can't, we'll talk about it more, but we cannot be coming second. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to the 10 people that have joined us already here. It's very, very nice. And we're just going to have a really, really short chat and bring another friend in very soon. It's a big game, man. Real Madrid, biggest European pedigree, most Champions League trophies. Even if they're not having a great season, they always have a great season. Just quietly off camera, Bruno and I were just talking about how they're 8 points in front, but this team doesn't play like a team that should be 8 points in front of La Liga at this stage of the season. It just goes to show the relative strength of some of the European leagues. But overall, I'm really confident that we can go there and be the better side no matter what, regardless of the result. And I know our good friend Christian Rivas will be optimistic as well as we bring him in as our third member of this match preview. Hola, how you doing, man?
Bro, so I got kicked out of my usual location because my girl wanted to see some show. I don't know, but I just want to bring that nice little masterpiece right there up while I have it. Captain America in the intercolors with the number 4 because there's only one Capitano. But anyways, aside that, I think we're going to get the dub. I think it's going to be a convincing win. Back to what you were saying about Madrid being 8 points. Yeah, La Liga is just not that strong this year. I mean, it's very competitive. You know, you got to give it credit when it's due. The league is more competitive once you pass first place. Second, third, fourth, it's competitive. But Madrid's just got a stranglehold on it. The next best team is Atletico, who isn't looking that good or convincing this season either. Just look how they're doing in the Champions League. I think we could pipe Madrid and finish in first, to be honest.
I think we've got a good squad going into the game, and that's where we'll start talking first. So, Wissam, it's good to see you here in the chat as usual, and Emiliano and Kuyan81 as well. This is the first time I watched this show for when you're going to bed. Fantastic, bro. That'll be the last thing on your mind, and it'll be the first thing when you wake up as well, subconsciously. We need to beat Madrid and stop that Rodriguez kid. You also need to stop Vinicius Jr. He's that sort of player that can make mistakes for 70 minutes and then score the match-winning goal and look like a prime Messi doing it. It's freaky how good he can look for very small periods of time. Every time I watch him play a full 90 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, he was playing again. But then when he does something, it's like it's the hottest thing since sliced bread and beer mixed together. It's unbelievable. He's the only one I can see making one of our back three or one of the big boys turn, because I think De Vrij has undercover been missing all these games so he can return for the Madrid game, but I'm not too sure if we're even in a position to risk him as much, because things have been going very well for us recently, gentlemen, albeit it's been against your Spezias, your Venezias, but I don't really care what anybody says. You only got to beat what's in. Yeah, and your Napolis, thank you very much. You can only beat what's in front of you. So team news and lineup-wise, we've actually got a pretty decent squad to pick from. We're a tiny bit early recording this today. We're going to miss the deadline of Sky Sports, ESPN, all that. But Bruno, what are you thinking lineup-wise going into this, especially knowing that Lautaro Martinez is definitely there for the full 90 minutes after resting very long on the weekend? It's a total game, man, and that's the next point I want to bring up.
Yeah, look, you need to have Martinez up front in that squad. Benzema is out for Real Madrid, so we need to just remember that Benzema being out takes a lot of it nullifies the teeth of the tiger, the way I like to put it, when this Real Madrid relies on him so much. Inter-wise, Correa is out, Damian is out, De Vrij, they're saying is most probably going to be there, but I wouldn't count on it, especially considering the way the team's been. You got Bastoni and Skriniar up back. I'd be chucking in D'Ambrosio there. Dumfries, he just scored. He's got the will now. You know, our 3 goal scorers on the weekend were the 3 purchases over the summer. You know, Dzeko respectfully didn't celebrate. Cholonohu, I don't think he meant to do what he did there, but it happened. You know,
I don't know, bro. The second time he almost hit it. He went for it
Yeah.
twice. Like, say what you want, but when
oh,
you
when
go
it
for it
works
two
once,
times,
yeah, the second time and it works. I don't know if he's caught the Chelsea game. No, was it the Chelsea game? I think it was the Chelsea game. The West Ham final goal. I promise you, it was a cross, but it went into the back of the net. And I think the same happened here. It worked the first time, wasn't meant to happen, and it happened. But you know, you got to start Cholonohu. He has been absolutely phenomenal his last couple of games. You know, I would love to see Sensi on the pitch at some point. I just feel that Inzaghi's learnt his lesson and he's given him short cameo appearances here and there. But I just think he could be one of those players that unlocks a stalemate. And that's the way I see most of this game going. Just the way Real Madrid are at the moment. It was just one of those fixtures where you just don't know. You don't know who's going to be on the end of the ball for Real Madrid. We've got a lot of strike force, but I don't know, Christian, do you really see Real Madrid posing much of a threat down the middle?
So in the midfield, you always got to remember Modric is still there, but I think he'll be strapped up. Honestly, I see Brozo kind of strapping up Vinicius when he starts coming down and attacking. You're going to put one of your better midfielders to cover those holes, especially with how Bastoni likes to go up. I just think the lineup should be but keyword should be. Ranocchia still hurt. If not, I would have started him in the middle just to have our Skriniar plays better on the right and Bastoni plays better on the left because they like to go up. But since we're in that type of situation, I guess we put D'Ambrosio on the right, Skriniar in the middle, and Bastoni out left because that's how much he's a better player. Of course, Perisic has to start. It's a must. Like, there's no way. Perisic is probably in the best form of his career right now. Like, he's hitting all cylinders firing. This is a game for him to really show up and take over and prove his value. You know what I mean? Like, I expect a really big game from Perisic this Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I expect a real big game from Perisic. You know, I think we're going to get the win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win or 1-0 win. I wouldn't even be surprised if Madrid rest some players, to be honest. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, they're like, we have nothing to lose. They can match up with anybody, and they don't want anybody else to get hurt. Benzema getting hurt, again, is a big thing for them. That's like their Achilles heel, so why risk it? But like you said, Vinicius is one of those players that he could take over a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go to next. We've got to see where the threats are coming from. We've got to talk a little bit about Real Madrid. I don't think they're going to play for a draw. I really, really don't think they're going to play for a draw. That's for sure. But I also think that, you know, if you're Real Madrid going into this game, you must have one eye on the potential opponents in the round of 16, the same way any logical side would be. And that's where a lot of this Inter talk is coming from. You know, we got to go there to win. We got to go there to make sure, like, if you want to make at least a little bit more progress in this tournament, you might need to avoid the likes of Bayern Munich, Liverpool, and Manchester City in the next round. I mean, I don't think any three of us see Inter as a potential champion for the Champions League, but I'll take a favorable draw any day of the week. Quarterfinals is just a lot better for the confidence, for the prize money, everything like that. Christian, you're so optimistic. You want to butt in and say we're going to win the Champions League, so I'm just going to let you do it.
I don't want to say we're going to win the Champions League, but I want to say that we could make a run in it. Again, the thing about the Champions League, you've seen Ajax make runs in it recently. You've seen teams like Tottenham make runs for it. So why not Inter? You know, we don't have a bad team. We got this for a reason. We got that Scudetto patch. We're the best Italy has to offer. I don't care what Juventini tells you different or a Napoli fan. There's nobody better than us in Italy. With the favorable draw, we finish in first place, and we get a better draw. We can squeeze by into the semis, and hopefully we get a good play. You know, let's just say hypothetically we finish in first, and then we get a Sporting in the next round. We have a good chance against Sporting. We can advance, and then from there we can see who we draw and how we can play. Again, personally, I like the way Inzaghi has us playing. We're very free-flowing. We're very attackative. We're not just pulling a Conte, sit back, defend, and counter. We're taking it to these guys, and we're really primed for Europe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we make a good run, at least the quarters. But it's all if we finish in first place, we could get a favorable draw. Remember, when it comes to the Champions League, it's all about who you match up against. You don't want to get you don't want to finish in second and then end up playing a Man City or a PSG. If you can avoid it, avoid it. Finish first and play against second, and that's the thing that I think that Inzaghi is going to play for. He's going to take this serious because not just the prize money, but also pedigree. I think we can make a good run. I don't want to say we're going to win Champions League. We're still a couple pieces away from that, but we are primed to make a good run. Making it to the round of 16 was good, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
I think being a City A champion, you have to. It's almost a must to go to the round of 16 because you are the representative of Italy. You are the champion of Italy. You should be able to play up against these other teams that are champions in the respective leagues and put on a good show. So, me personally, I expect us to make to the round of 16 if we finish in first place.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. Bruno, let's go over to Real Madrid's lineup because it's still a very good looking lineup with so much talent there, man. Like, this is the default Los Blancos, man. The Los Blancos that is winning the league by 8 points and still considers itself in reserve mode. It's bizarre, man. Like, the Perez ain't spending. He hasn't spent for 2 years properly. He doesn't even plan to spend. He's getting Mbappe on a free. He knows that for a fact. This guy is the slyest in the game, but he's the best in the game for a reason. And look at this lineup on there. You've got Hazard in career worst form, pretty much. No one's even fearing him anymore. Jovic, who's basically just scored recently on the weekend and established himself, basically luck due to Karim Benzema being injured, because we all know Benzema pretty much the most consistent striker in the world for the last how many years. Is so underrated. Vinicius, as we've all just said, can pop up at any moment and look like the best player on the pitch. And that midfield, although it's aging, that's technically incredible. That's world class. You've got one of the best anchors in the last decade in Casemiro, basically. And Toni Kroos and Luka Modric know each other better than any midfield dynamic duo that you'll ever meet. It's going to be very hard either way. The defense is where we could actually break them down if we're focused, man. I mean, it's not the best defense in the world. It's not the worst, but David Alaba's having an amazing season, having played most of his career out wide. Bruno, what are you talking about this Real Madrid team, man? Because it still looks really, really good by default, and we're going to the Bernabeu to win this game, show them the utmost respect.
Look, just based on that lineup there, Hazard, I reckon Bale starts before him, but I also think Rodrigo gets the start. I think he's the one that's going to be on the pitch come game day, especially when Jovic is classified as a second string striker in their team. They really want to have the enforcement. But if Hazard does play, I am scared of him, because he's definitely got something to prove, just the way everything's gone for him at this Real Madrid team. But you cannot go past Real Madrid. You cannot underestimate Real Madrid. At the start of the season, I was talking down on Real Madrid, saying they let go of Varane and Ramos, one of the most definitive centre-back pairings in the world. And then they ended up striking Militao and Alaba. But at the same time, we've got an attack that would easily dismantle these if we can win the game in the midfield. Now, that's where you really need Inzaghi to put his thinking cap on. One of the players I would highly considering putting on this team is Arturo Vidal, especially considering of his history with Real Madrid and his history in the Champions League, his history in Spain, everything that suggests if that means Dzeko or Lautaro have to be benched and you only have the one striker and you got Perisic and Dumfries playing more advanced, that's maybe something you got to play with, especially considering the team we've got, because essentially you got to remember, if D'Ambrosio is playing as a centre-back, he's not playing as a centre-back. It's very hard to get that mentality of I'm going up, I'm going to clutch this, I'm going to do this out of a player's head against the likes of Real Madrid. But overall, you look at this squad. 3 years ago, you would really think that this was the best squad in the world. And 3 years has passed and they're still looking as strong and definitive as what they were. Okay, we might have struck a bit of luck with Benzema, but I feel that might work into Real Madrid's hands because now their talisman's not going to be the only player they're looking for in that box. And they're going to be a lot more creative. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Christian was about to say they're less predictable. Off you go, Christian, man. Looking at their lineup, how do you expect them to come at us, man? Being coached by Ancelotti, it could be a big foundation and reason why they're able to grit those results over the line of Barcelona and Atletico this season. Ancelotti still has that pedigree, man.
So me personally, I like the matchup in the midfield. I personally do see that Brozovic will be really instrumental in this game and breaking up a lot of passes. Luka Modric is old, but he's still like fine wine, bro. Like, he's still going to do his work. But I do see Barrella lining up well against them, and I think Hakan can take it to Toni Kroos. Again, where I'm looking at is Mendy and Carvajal. Our attacks are going to come from the wings. I think Dumfries has the pace on Mendy, but the thing is, can he control the ball? You know, he's had that issues that from the start of the season where his touch was a little too hard or he dribbles too much. Against Mendy, you're going to have to be on your A game, you know. And then Perisic against Carvajal. Carvajal likes to go forward, so I think Perisic is going to take advantage of that. But Ancelotti, again, like you said, is the X factor in this game. If Ancelotti can get Carvajal to be very disciplined and not push forward, then we can see like a real 1-0, 1-1 type game. But it's all up to the tactics. I personally think they're 4-3-3. We line up good against it in our 3-5-2. I get why you would put down either Dzeko or Lautaro and start Vidal, but me personally, I'm not going to change that up. I'm going to keep it 3-5-2. And I'm going to put Toro and Dzeko in because, like you were saying, Toro to me is going to be the X factor in this. Toro, for his skill set, is exactly what we need in this type of game. A player that can hold the ball, dribble, and find the passes. You need a second striker like that, and this is the type of game for him because he's going to draw Alaba and Militao to come up to him, and it's going to create holes for Dzeko. You know, again, the thing is Carvajal likes to go forward. So that's one thing that works in our favor. The thing is, we got to catch them slipping, you know. We got to catch them on a break, and that's how we're going to expose them is through that right side.
Yeah.
That's actually always been my opinion is our strongest side has been the left.
Yeah, and look, I got to say 100%, I agree with exactly what you're saying there, but I just want to bring up this comment from Huyan81. We have to finish our chances. And that was something we did not do in the first game. We were, in my opinion, we were the better team on the day, but we could just not capitalize on the chances that we were presented with. Whereas Rodrigo scores in the 89th minute and we just...
A wonder strike at that.
Yeah, exactly. It was a last-ditch effort like, all right, well, nothing else is working. Let me shoot. And I just think if we don't take our chances, Real Madrid isn't a Spezia. It's not a Venezia. It's a team which will make you pay for it. And we've seen it time and time again where Real Madrid's the second best team on the day, but they still get the result because they get 75% of their chances, whereas the opposition only converted one of their 15 chances. But overall, Honda needs to step up because we're going to be seeing a lot of long shots, in my opinion. I just think the team themselves, they've got a lot of confidence from their run in the Champions League at the moment. They've got a lot of confidence for their run in the La Liga at the moment where, you know what, Benzema's not there. Let me show, I don't need Benzema to score sort of thing. So you're going to see the Modric taking that long shot, Vinny at Rodrigo, and we criticize Honda a lot, but this is his game to step up. This is his game, especially with the defense in front of him. This is his game where we can shut them out. Boys, we want first place, clearly, because the teams that are currently coming first at the moment, it is absolutely stupid. And if Juventus get the results go their way, they'll finish first, which also eliminates another possibility for us. But overall, first place is critical. I want to throw back to the comment that you made earlier, Christian. You got to beat the teams that are in front of you. I think even if we finish second and we draw Bayern Munich or Man City, for instance, it is a success of a campaign because they're considered the best of the best, these two teams. And if Inter get up against them and we manage to maybe pull off a draw or challenge them at least, but still get knocked out, we're getting knocked out with our head held high. If we finish first and draw Sporting and get knocked out, there's going to be a lot of criticism, not just on Inzaghi, but on the team and on their mentality. We saw how they came out firing against, I think it was Napoli, once we qualified. And it was the confidence in this team. And you know what? We go up again, and we saw what Inzaghi did with Lazio, and they got knocked out against Bayern Munich in the round of 16. And they had a depleted team. But if we can go up, get this result, and then we get this team like Bayern Munich or Man City or whoever we may draw, because even if we finish first, we could still draw PSG, for instance. So it's very interesting in this competitive nature. But if we get knocked out in the round of 16, and you compare this season to last season, Conte got knocked out in last place, and I think we were third at the time, and we were about 7 or 8 points off AC. Inzaghi got us through to the next round, and we're 1 point behind AC Milan. So it's already a successful campaign. And if we can go up against the likes of Bayern Munich or Man City, I don't mind getting knocked out, because then we can focus our full attention on the Serie A, get the prize money, and just look at it like, well, Conte come in last. Yeah, we won the Scudetto with well to spare. But the teams and the way they're playing at the moment, I don't think anyone's going to break away the way we did last season. So ultimately, this is where the decision's got to be made. Are we going to go hard and deep in this Champions League? Because if we do, I think we're sacrificing the Serie A.
So my thing about that is, I'm going to tell you now, we got a better depth this season than last season. So we can fight on both fronts, and we should. I'm not with that whole let's crash out the round of 16. I'm with let's try and get to the next round. If we come up against a Man City, I like our chances.
Oh,
you know, Man City doesn't have that European DNA. You know, they don't. And, you know, the thing is that we need to make ourselves respectable, like you said. So crashing out against a Bayern Munich is cool, but beating a Bayern Munich is better.
Knock it,
So
of course.
I'm going to say I would rather we do both. I also don't think Milan and Napoli, I think we're going to win it with 4 games to go, to be honest with you. I'm calling it now, Anthony, like I did last year. We're going to win the Scudetto with 4 games remaining. And the reason is because of our depth. That's the thing that's going to get us across the finish line opposed to Milan and Napoli. Because Milan and Napoli don't have the depth. Look at Napoli right now with all these injuries. They've dropped 4 out of the last 6.
Yeah.
You know, they've been dropping points in 4 out of the last 6 games. Milan, it's Pioli. You know, he starts out hot and then he fizzles. They haven't come up against their hard games yet. The hardest game, Juve, they lost. And us, they drew, which they shouldn't have because we completely dominated that game. And you remember, Anthony, I was beefing about that game because I was like, Inzaghi needs to go for the jugular. You need to make your subs now. Milan was prime and ready to drop a goal, and we didn't go for it, which we should have. Imagine if we did, we would have been sitting in first now. I think we're going to get first by Christmas, and I think we're going to hit cruise control, and we're going to lock the league down with 4 games going, if not sooner. I just don't see Milan, and I don't see Milan and Napoli. He's depth yet. The get them there. And like I told you in the last pod, the thing that stops Milan is their coach. They don't have a great coach. And to win the league, you need a good coach. Coaching is everything. Look what Inzaghi did with Lazio. With what he has in Lazio, they had no depth. They made a good run at Juve before they fizzled out because of the whole COVID shutdown. You know, without that, if he had more depth in that team, they could have actually won the Scudetto. This Inter compared to that Lazio, there's no way Inzaghi fizzles out. There's no way. It's absolutely
the depth is
absurd.
phenomenal.
The
but I want to throw to you, Anth, because he touched on Inzaghi and his subs costing us the game against Milan. How crucial are the substitutes in this Real Madrid game?
Very, very important, especially because I don't think we're going to have Correa on the bench at all. He came off looking like it's at least 3 weeks or so for him. Maybe not 3 weeks, but it's definitely
Yeah,
2. He can't play. He can't play this week anyway. So
he'll be
um,
returning next year.
I would love to see more of Alexis
He
Sanchez in
looked
this
good.
game. Yeah, he always looks good no matter what. Even if like with time in between fixtures, I seem to forget that he's around. Every time he comes on, he just reminds me that he's there, and he's so good when he is there. I think Brozovic and Barella are going to have really good games like against that midfield. This is a great opportunity for Brozovic and Barella as well to make sure that they level up. I mean, these sort of games are what to send you back domestically and allow you to dominate domestically, which is what Brozovic, Barella, Hakan, Vidal, and even to a degree Gagliardini and Vecino, every time they come on, they dominate, they do their job. And I don't care if it's their job for 10 minutes this season. We've been in positions before where we know these players aren't good enough for 90 minutes, but they're good enough for 15 minutes. They're good enough to play 70 minutes against Spezia if you really need them to. And we just saw what we did to Roma. The team's riding on confidence. So everybody in their position will be going into this game with a positive mindset and seeing the opportunity in the challenge rather than the challenge in the opportunity. And I think that's very, very important because it's all guns blazing. And I hope Denzel has a good game. I really, really do. If anyone's going to get caught out, it could be him. But I think tactically and position-wise, which is what Uncle Sharma said as well, and we've all agreed, he gets into the right spots. It's not like tactically he's inept. It's just more so when he's got the ball, his product. And like I dare say, Dumfries has adapted quicker and faster than Lazaro, Hakimi, and Cancelo, all in those sort of positions tactically. So I've got faith in him going forward. Regardless of what happens, and I've said this the last few games, Inter's going to walk off the pitch knowing that they were the better side, regardless of what it says on the scoreboard.
Yeah, look, I got to hit the nail on the head, but just back to I want to throw some banter here. Do you reckon AC Milan are sitting in their chairs watching Manchester United now, saying this is what could have been here at AC Milan with Ragnick now signing for there after they did the dirty to him because he's got something to prove.
But you got to remember something. Milan's still in a good position. They made the Champions League. That's what they wanted. They got back to the Champions League. They're remaining competitive. They're not spending money. Ragnick would definitely want investments, opposed to Pioli. Pioli is not gonna. He's not gonna sit there and guarantee you the Scudetto, but he's not gonna sit there and ask for the players. You're not gonna see him come up to you with a list of names and be like, "This is who I want on the transfer market. Go and get them." That's not what he's gonna do. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and say that Milan is happy with the choice they made because now they don't have to invest crazy money. And two, they're competitive. They're still in the top 4, and they're in the Champions League where they want to be. Now, they might have gotten embarrassed in the Champions League, but again, they're where they want to be. If they weren't in a good position, then yeah, maybe they'd be kicking themselves in the ass saying, damn, we messed up.
It's been pretty embarrassing our last 4 seasons in the Champions League. I never expected them to come back and to progress despite on what some of their fans have thought. But, they've still got a chance to make it. I even think with a depleted Liverpool, they won't go through. But, oh, well.
Listen, the thing is this. People got to understand something. When we came back into the Champions League, we got knocked into Europa. Both times we got knocked into Europa, and then we finished in 4th. All right, The Champions League is not a joke. Regardless of what people say, it's all about the luck of the draw, your investment, and your squad, and what you want to do. All right? They're not going to progress. Maybe they're lucky and they finish in a Europa spot, but I doubt it. But they're not going to advance this year, and they're not going to advance next year. They still have a long way to go.
Yeah, well, and Ibra has to leave. Ibra has to leave eventually, and when he does leave, man, that's a big motivation off their locker room.
Yeah, well, look, Liverpool have a massive game against high-flying Aston on the weekend. So they don't have to play this game. They've locked it in. They can throw their junior team in. And if AC get the result, then you're leaving it to Atletico and Porto. And anything's possible with those teams because Atletico have a lot to prove. But then, so the Porto, they want to make it to the next round. So AC can still qualify. But they can also still finish last. And I can't believe they're in this position, especially after 3 games on 0 points. It's quite phenomenal the way they've turned it around and all credit to them. But this is a different type of competition. This isn't the Serie A where, you know, you can have a couple of off games and still get results because you're playing Venezia, Salernitana, Cagliari, to say the least. This is the Champions League where you qualify as the best of the best. Now, the best team in Moldova pulled off shock wins against Shakhtar and Real Madrid of all teams. You know, so they're the best. You know, so it's one of those competitions where, yeah, it's disappointing when you don't make it to the next round. But this is a competition to say we're trying to find the best of the winners. Now, if we go back to the whole platform of it all and how it should be, the groups are pretty much the top of the teams that are looking to qualify are pretty much the best of the best. You know, even Barcelona, they still might scrape through somehow after the dismal season they've had. So I think AC Milan can hold their head high. Atalanta can hold their head high. Even Juve, they've had some big scrutiny in this Serie A campaign, but they've still done what's needed to be done when it comes to the Champions League. So it's one of those things where the Italian teams haven't disappointed for once.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
sometimes you'd have a couple of teams, one team might do really well, which has been Juve the last couple of seasons, and the rest will disappoint. Well, this time round, all the Italian teams have really held their head up high. Juve did what they had to do. Inter have impressed everyone. Then you've got AC Milan that are pulling it out, and Atalanta, they've just gotten unlucky. So I think
All they got to
Serie A,
do is win.
yeah,
Atalanta play Villarreal. Winner goes through. Simple
winner
as that.
takes all. And the way
And
Gasparini's got his men
in
lined up,
Bergamo.
yeah, and the way Gasparini's got his men lined up, they're challenging for a Scudetto this season. I think they finish second. I think they honestly finish second the way Gasparini's got them lined up, because everyone's saying every year, oh, last year they were the dark horses. Mate, they're no longer dark horses. You can only be a dark horse for so long. They're not minnows anymore. This team has been phenomenal. And I just think this year the Serie A has been done proud in the Champions League, and I really think, you know, a lot is gonna be taken away. And you're looking at Inter, you're looking at Napoli. They're already looking to next season and saying, well, we can solidify our squads to accommodate this Champions League, because I think Inter's starting to look at themselves and like, well, this is the prize money we're getting, and we've missed out on this. What is it, 4 years in a row now?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
4 years in a row, and we finally got that. You know, Inzaghi's paid his salary already.
Yeah, bro. Let's what do you think's gonna happen? We'll go to I'll do it first because this is the hardest part. Prediction wise, I think it's 0-0 at halftime. I don't think the game is as open, but I think it opens up with a couple of rough challenges or a couple of dubious decisions in the second half. But I actually think we reverse the scoreline 0-1. I think we score 1-0, and I think it's total. I think it's total around about that 75 to 79 minute mark. Nice and crisp. No way back from Madrid after that. We lock it down after that. So 0-1, Lautaro gets the goal and celebrates like an absolute madman in the process. Lord Nostradamus?
I want to say 2-0. I want to say 2-0. I'm going to go with 2-0. I think we're going to have goals from Lautaro, and I'm going to say Perisic.
Before I go to Bruno, King Darian asked this same question on the last match reaction, and I didn't get a chance to throw it over because I got lost in the run. What are the duties like if you spend over €200 from the Inter store?
What do you mean the duties?
I think duties means like the tax or like the shipping. Is it free?
Okay. It's 150. I'm telling you now because that's what I do every time I order. As long as you order over €150, it's free shipping. Take advantage. That's what I do.
All right, cool. So €150, Darian, gets you the free shipping. No need to spend 200. Thanks, bro. Bruno, prediction?
3-2, Hakan, Lautaro, and Bastoni goals.
And Bastoni's been so good lately, man.
I honestly think it's gonna go one or two ways: 1-0, like you went, or it's gonna be one of those
slug it out, goal fest.
You score, I score. You know, you hit the nail on the head, Rivas, when you said Carvajal will be pressing up. it's opening a lot of space, and Perisic is just going to have the field day if that's the case. But yeah, look, I think it's going to be either a really entertaining game or one of those hard fought out nil or draws, 1-0 wins where, unlucky for us last time we were on the end of it. But fortunately enough, we can dish one out this time.
Yeah. Just remember the message we send across if we finish it first. That puts Europe on alert. That definitely puts Europe
on alert. Serie A on alert. It puts Inter on the radars of a lot of players' minds when transfer window comes around.
I agree.
It makes it a destination like Juve has been for the last 6, 7, 8 years.
Well, that's the only reason people want to go to Juve is, again, for the pedigree of the Champions League. So, like you said, King Darian, the man right there, he said 2-0. It's just one of those feelings I have. Like, I think this is the type of game that our players feel like, this is the time for us to show everybody we mean business. Yeah. We loafed it in Milan, but if we get this done in the Bernabeu, it sends a strong message across Europe that, Inter is here now.
Like, 2010 vibes, mate. 2010 vibes.
It's not Inter is coming anymore. It's Inter is now officially here. The whole Inter is here when we made it to the Champions League. No, we just made it. Inter is here when we finally get somewhere in the Champions League and we start putting up some wins that are recognizable because we never beat Barca. We never beat Madrid. The only game that we won to a pedigree was Tottenham. That was the only team we beat with any
Dortmund.
Or Dortmund. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But we didn't beat the big boys like the Barcelonas and Madrids. We come in, we beat this Madrid. It's like, okay, they're officially here, and there's a reason why they won Italy. That's the reason why we got the Scudetto patch. Juve doesn't no more. If we can sit there and represent the peninsula properly, it's all smiles here. And I still think Atalanta might pull it off. And imagine if we get 3 Italian teams in the next round, I'll be happy.
Even 4. It can be 4. You never know.
No.
Juventus might qualify.
No, Juve's already in.
So just I didn't realize this, but Real Madrid have the Madrid derby coming up on the weekend as well against Atletico, which is going to be massive and on the back of their minds, which will play a big part. We've secured Champions League next round. Let's solidify our stand.
Far out. They could pretty much win La Liga by winning that derby on the weekend. If they go 11 points, they're not. No one's catching Real Madrid plus 11.
Nope.
No, and I think it's one of those things where you look forward. We've got Cagliari, so even if Dzeko and Lautaro are wrecked after this game, you can risk starting Sensi, Alexis, and Satriano because it's Cagliari, to say the least. And, our team can handle it. Whereas when you've got Madrid against Atletico, it is a massive game. And, the job's done in the Champions League. Maybe their focus or maybe their halftime decisions mean we're going to defense it up and take off Vinny and Rodrigo because we really can't afford to have them injured when the job's done.
And you got to remember something. And this is going to be playing a lot of the players. Hey, look who we have next. We have Salernitana, spell check me, but then Milan has on the 19th Napoli. So think that's not going to be in their heads. Remember, Anthony, I told you. I said this weekend we're going to finish 37, 30, 38, 37, 36, 34. All right? Come that Milan-Napoli game, I'm going to tell you now, Milan and Napoli are both going to drop points, and we're going to jump ahead. And you're going to see, we're going to jump ahead, and then it's cruise control. Because after that, Milan still got Empoli, they still got Roma, then they still got Udinese coming up. It's going to be a tough run of games. It's going to be a real tough run of games for Milan.
You say with confidence they're both going to drop points, but do you know who the Napoli manager is and what happens in December when it comes to how he performs and dropping points against teams that
but you also remember
thinking about it.
You also remember who Milan's manager is, who drops points when it,
No, they got to be crowned with the champions first, and then they drop points.
I
love the banter, man.
I think Udinese might be the one to pop those points, to be honest with you, before the Napoli. Udinese has been nice, bro. They've been
Big Beto, bro. He's a beast. He's a beast, man.
Good this season. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this coming Saturday in the U.S., of course, Udinese pipes them, bro. I really wouldn't be surprised. They've been playing nice. But again, remember, they still got Napoli. They still got Roma. They still got Venezia. They still got Juve coming up again. Like, they have games coming up where you can see them. And look, right after Juve, who do they play? They play Inter again. So they're going to play us again. So you're looking at the Juve and then the Milan derby back to back.
It's going to be fire. It's going to be really, really good. That's all we're going to have time for today. It was a really, really good match preview. I'm going to really thank my guests before I just do a tiny bit of housekeeping and let them go. Lord Nostradamus, Christian, always a pleasure, man. We're going to catch up after this one as well. Take care.
Oh, for sure. Yo, shout out to all my boys, Will, King Darian, and Liam, and everybody else that always tunes in. Yo, shout out to my boy Bruno. That's the man. And Anthony, I appreciate y'all having me again.
Always, anytime. We love it. Bruno, thanks for coming in, man. Always appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. And hopefully we're chatting about a nice Inter victory come Wednesday morning our time.
That would be really good. Cheers, boys. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in on Inter Worldwide. Just before I go, and that I don't forget, make sure everybody who is here is going along to Serie A Fantasy.com. Fantastic league just for Serie A fans to put their fantasy to the test. It's very simple to access. Head across to the leagues tab and join our private Inter Worldwide league as well, which we have 58 members in it. I'll just get the code up on the screen. It's also in the description with the hyperlinks to go with it. So code is up here now. Join us. I know it's already almost midway through the season, but it's just a little bit of fun, and I'm actually really good at it as well. So come and beat me. All right. Thank you, everybody who tunes into Inter Worldwide. I hope we're coming back with 3 really big points in the Champions League. Ciao, ragazzi.